Okay, we are live and let's go ahead and get started. Sorry, I'm pressing too many buttons all at the same time. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Julie Wyma, and I'm the Executive Director of Opera Programs Berlin and the Dramatic Voices Program. Thank you all for joining us for this masterclass. Those of you who are maybe watching the live stream now or watching this video after the fact. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce today's clinician for the masterclass. Dr. Christopher White is the Studienleiter at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. Prior to that, he held music staff positions at English National Opera and Opernhaus Zürich. He studied piano and piano accompaniment and completed his doctoral work on the music of Gustav Mahler at the Royal Academy of Music, London. Guest engagements as a musical assistant have taken him to, amongst others, the Munich Opera Festival, Glyndebourne, the Royal Opera House Covent Garden, and the Bayreuth Festival, the latter for Parsifal and The Ring. Additionally, he is an active solo and chamber pianist, notably Saint-Saëns' Second Piano Concerto at the Berlin Philharmonie. Chris, thank you so much for being with us. It is a huge pleasure to have you, both as a masterclass clinician and also our music director for this program. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thanks. I would like to invite our first singer, Brenda, if you could please unmute yourself and let us know where you're calling from and what you'll be singing today.
Sure. My name is Brenda Christensen, and I'm here with my pianist, Tatiana Orlova. We're in Frankfurt, Germany, and I'm a Canadian. And I will be singing Du bist der Lenz from Die Walküre, Wagner.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Excellent. Okay, just give me a little sign you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes, you can hear me. Okay. This is it's an aria. Obviously, it's also the second half of an aria. I've been saying this to quite a lot of your colleagues. You are completing Siegmund's aria at this point. It's very unusual. In opera, mostly, you two lovers kind of introducing each other. You think of Bohème or something. One sings an aria, the other sings an aria. In this case, it's the same aria, it's the same line, and he sets you up and you come in the second half. What does that mean practically? What that means practically is usually you would warm into an aria, but in this case, the maximum energy is actually at the very beginning. My feeling is, if I could just address your pianist for a second, is not to do any rubato at all in the last bar. Hi, well played, very well played. I would just suggest that you don't do any rubato in the last bar before she comes in, because what I really want is this shape, du bist der Lenz, because he's been talking about Liebe und Lenz, yeah? Lenz meaning spring. Yeah, and Sieglinda's point is, no, but that's you. You are the Lenz, you are the spring, not you are the spring. So that's for you, Brenda, to go with maximum energy, and then for the orchestra, for the piano, to not be kind of holding up before the singing starts, because then it makes that what I'm asking her to do very difficult. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. It's a very difficult start. It's a very unusual, unorthodox way to start an aria. You're kind of starting, if you like, halfway through, or starting at the maximum intensity point. I would also be thinking about legato. That's the other big sort of headline thing I want to say. You're very good with the text, very correct with the text, the vast majority of it. Anyway, I'll give you a couple of pointers later. But it was a little bit vertical this time. So as we do it again, absolutely, it's what Debussy said about the tyranny of the bar line. Yeah, the bar line is in this music not your friend. In lots of Siegfried, for example, it is very bar driven, but in this part of the ring, it's the most lyrical part by a long way of the ring until maybe the very end. But even I think actually this is even more lyrical than that. So if you think really incredibly horizontal, and it's definitely one idea, one impulse. Du bist der Lenz, nachdem ich verlangte im frostigem Wintersfrist. Let's see. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you mind if I use my hand just for a minute just to get the legato feel going?
Sure, if that helps you. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Although I do want to talk about posture. That's exactly the next thing. But okay. you go ahead for now.
Okay. Do a little bit again?
Yes, please, from the beginning. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Good.
That I do.
Good. Yeah. Lots of good things there. You have a slight tendency to what most singers have, which is what I like to call dotted notitis, which is when you can imagine what that means, right? Where you get a little stuck on a dotted note. This was much better than last time, but nachdem ich verlangte, that's the one particular place. Actually, mostly this is half notitis that you have. The Lenz, langte, frostige, Winter, Frist. All of those are half notes. And I want you just to, it's very good, but I want you just to keep the air spinning. And once you've sort of exploded onto the scene with this energy, du bist der Lenz, which was great from both of you. Thank you very much. Once you've exploded onto the scene in that way, make sure that the way the energy is kind of parceled out is making sure that you don't get stuck on the longer pitches, dotted quarters or halves. One more time, and then we'll go on.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, super. Thank you. Yeah, lots of very good things there. In that first phrase,
much more alive, much more felt like a single unit. That was great. Just a tiny thing, verlangte, you're having a tendency to go verlangte. It's a little bit too like a closed e.
Okay.
But it should be just verlangte. I don't need to hear that again though.
Yeah.
When we get to the next phrase.
So can we go from fremdes nur from there?
No, sorry, I'm just going to say, when we get to the next phrase, i.e. dich grüßte mein Herz and so on, theoretically, the orchestra should come back there, yeah? Should be piano and have these kind of two-bar swell patterns, if you like. I'd like you to follow those swells, yeah? I don't want it to be the same.
You want from dich grüßte?
That's right, yeah. Dich grüßte mein Herz. And if you look just quickly at the dynamics in the orchestra, how it kind of goes in waves, yeah. It kind of surges up and then comes back, and surges up and then comes back, and that's very much what the moving 16th notes in the strings are doing, yeah. I'd like you to be aware of that and just allow it to inform what kind of color you're using there. Could we try that? So this is the bar of Frist.
And watch the crescendos and decrescendos they said. Yeah. Okay.
Should I from Tame?
Go maybe a bar, from Frist. Sorry. Just maybe 2, 1, 2. Dich.
Okay.
Dich grüßte mein Herz mit heiligen Gram, als dein Blick zuerst mir
erblickte. It's good. I think you can take more risks with it, with the shape of the phrase. At the moment, you know what? At the moment, it sounds a bit polished, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm not quite under the skin. I don't feel quite under the skin of what's going on in the character, because this is something else that makes it very different, of course, because it's an aria, but you are kind of developing as a character during the aria. Rather than stop, sing an aria, and then develop. You know, right. Wagner is mixing those two aspects. Okay. Just at the very end, and this is a real hobby horse for me with Wagner, is the endings of phrases in the voice part is often a lot shorter than you think, and in this case as well. Zuerst mir erblühte off.
Okay.
Yeah. Would be great to have that that accuracy. Okay. Could we have the same again? Dich grüßte.
Maybe 1, 2 again.
Yeah, super. I was hoping you'd go on.
Oh, sure. Can we do it again, then keep going, or do you want to go from fremdes nur?
Do it again, we keep going, that's great.
Yeah, let's do it one more time. Okay, same thing. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 1 second. Yeah, go for it. Dich grüßte mein Herz mit heiligen Ram, als dein Blick zuerst mir erblickte. Fremdes nur sei von je. Freudlos war mir das nahe, als hätt ich nie es gekannt. War was immer mir kam.
Good, lovely. Let's just look at that little bit, because as you know, and as I really heard you do, that's great. The color changes, the kind of mode of communication changes, if you like. Yeah. What I've often said to people is this is a bit like a kind of gather round children moment. You understand? Kind of once upon a time moment. Yeah. That's the kind of fremdes nur sei von je. But you know what? You did it. You really did. You did a kind of almost, I won't say parlando, because that's not right for Wagner, but that was the direction you were going in there was very good. So congratulations on that. Ye, both times, you're kind of doing a diphthong. Yay. You're kind of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just that's it. Just a very simple closed one. Yeah. And then I'm really always very pernickety about when we have triplets, or actually in any kind of music, particularly 6/8 music, 9/8 music, that we look after the littlest, least significant. Yeah. So what I heard was Freundlos war mir das Nahen. Yeah, you sort of didn't really bother with das. Yeah. Freundlos war mir das Nahen. Yeah. So keep the vowel, even though it's a very short A vowel and it's only the word das, whatever, who cares? No, it's all absolutely should be in the same vocal line. You know? Good. That's all I have for that section. Should we do it? Should we do Fremdes nur, and then we'll go on?
Sure. Fremdes nur. Yeah. Fremdes nur. Yeah, bar. Yeah. Fremdes nur sei ich von je. Freudlos war mir das nahe, als hätte ich nie es gekannt. War was immer mir kam. Yeah.
Sorry to start. I know I said I wouldn't, but there we go, I have. You're a little free with the rhythm. It's not that parlando that you should play fast on this with the rhythm. Als hätte ich nie es gekannt.
Yeah, I played a little there, yeah.
That will feel really slow because before that you've got quite a lot of text to get in. But can you respect that rhythm? And then actually, there was one thing I forgot from the first time we did it. War was immer mir. So dotted first beat, not dotted second beat. This stuff really matters in Wagner, you know, and somehow he, you know, it could always, it could be this one, it could be that one, but somehow he's always right. Understand? He always picks the best one.
Okay.
War was immer mir kam would be great to have. Okay. Let's go again, and then we will definitely go on.
See, I'll look at the music. Fremdes nur sei von je. Freudlos war mir das nahe, als hätte ich nie es gekannt. War was immer mir kam, doch die konnt ich deutlich und klar, als mein Auge sagst, du mein was ich busenig borg, was ich bin, hell wie der Tag, tagt es mir auf, wie Tee in der Schar, schlag's an mein Ohr, als in Frosted die Fremde, zuerst ich den Freund ich sah.
Good, very good. Okay, I'm going to say the same about the end as I did about the beginning. Unfortunately, this is not the kind of music where you can do a grandiose cadence and then go ta-da at the end like that. I know you're doing it out of context, of course, and in a masterclass situation, that's obviously very different. But no mercy, no rubato. Erst ich den Freund, da-dam, da-dee-dam, sah. Da-da-da-da-dee-da-dam. Yeah, it's much more exciting that way, without any rubato.
Okay, can you say it to me again one more time, just when I'm looking at the music to see what you asked?
All right. Yeah. Zuerst ich den Freund, da-dam, da-da-dam, sah. And then we're off.
Okay. Yeah,
okay. You don't have the luxury, unfortunately, of landing on the cadence in the sort of traditional way. Yeah?
Okay. So
okay.
Freund, sah.
Absolutely.
Can
Absolutely.
I try singing just the ending when I go zuerst ich?
Yeah, no, I've got a few things to talk about. We'll definitely repeat plenty, so don't worry. The thing about Sieglinde, and the thing about both Siegmund and Sieglinde, is that you must never forget is that they are in a hurry. And that really matters for like how you approach the aria bits as well as the conversation bits which precede it. You know, Hunding, you've drugged him, okay, he's asleep now. You've no idea when he's going to wake up. He might wake up any minute. And there are places in the act where you hear these noises off and they go, oh, what was that? You know, there's a nervousness and a jitteriness to both of the characters, even as they're kind of finding themselves and finding each other and unlocking the mysteries of their life and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I go on about that because it's somehow just changes the whole profile of the aria, both arias, in fact, Siegmund's as well. If you just bear that very simple fact in mind.
Okay, thank you.
There isn't much time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm in a hurry, and I'm finding I'm in love, but I'm also in a hurry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's all condensed. I mean, actually, the first act of Valkyria is not long at all, but the kind of, in fact, I think it might be the shortest. Must be the shortest single act in the Ring. Yeah, must be. Unless you, I mean, obviously Rheingold is in one go, but definitely the shortest unit in the Ring. But yeah, he packs so much into it. And yeah, just that constancy. And if you listen to the end of the act as well, I was saying this to Siegmund yesterday in a coaching, which is that the acceleration becomes almost hysterical at the end, and then it kind of falls off a precipice, you know. And then it lands on a chord, a kind of diminished chord, and then it's one off like this. It's even the very ending is syncopated. That's what makes it so thrilling. Yeah, obviously we're not there yet in this aria. We're not there yet, but we're laying the groundwork for it. Okay, let's excuse me. Let's go back. After that little parlando section,
Okay.
Doch dich kannte ich.
From there.
But yes, what I'd like there, by the way, is not to give too much more sound than the previous bar. Okay. We had that very intimate. Stay at that level.
Yes, I came in much louder there. Okay.
You did. Stay at that level and let it.
And it says piano
let it,
underneath. You're right. Okay.
Great. Stay at that level and let it grow from there. Okay.
And then I came in too loud here. I needed to be more piano coming in. I move into it. Oh, I was too loud.
But I begin from here.
Yeah. Here he wants it. Var was immer mir kam, doch dich konnt ich deutlich und klar aus meiner Augen sagst du mein Augen. Yeah.
Sorry. There's a big thing there which you've now done twice, which I want to see if that was just a one-off. Is she breathing in the wrong place? Als mein Auge dich sah, breathe. Warst du mein eigen?
Can you say that again, please, just so I can hear the word breathe?
Als mein Auge, sorry, I'll do it again. Als mein Auge dich sah, breathe, warst du mein eigen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sah, warst, breathe makes no sense. Sah,
okay.
Breathe, warst. Yeah.
I liked the starting softer because it'll actually help me for the ending, so I don't tire. That was actually good.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's actually really helpful.
It's a very the aria has a very odd shape. You go from the top, it's like a V shape. You go from the top, and then there's this kind of valley, which is where we're starting now, and then it climbs out.
Okay. Can I go from Doch dich again?
Yeah, wherever you like.
Can we go from Doch dich, maybe 1, 2? Yeah. Doch dich from there, maybe? Yes. Yeah. Okay. 1. Doch dich.
lots of really good things. I felt that the momentum was moving really, really well. And credit to your pianist as well. Da-dum, 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 was moving it along. Great, just exactly how it should be. And then I felt it somewhat ran out of steam, to be honest, in the last kind of 6 bars. Did you feel the same?
I was getting tired.
Okay, yeah, it's just this this No Mercy thing, I'm afraid.
It's a high energy piece, and all of a sudden I felt a little exhausted, but that's okay.
Sure. Okay, well that's fine. I mean, you're getting to know a slightly new kind of shape for the aria, so that's so don't be concerned about that. I'd love to take the ending in isolation, I think, just so that you know what that feels like. Completely jiving into the middle of it. There's no good place to start. Wie tönende Schal is the best I can think of.
Okay. You want me to do that from there? Wie tönende Schal?
Yeah, I do. And
on the second system. Yeah. Okay. Wie tönende Schal, schlag's an mein Ohr, als in frostige Fremde, zuerst dich in Fremd ihr sah.
Okay. It's a good first try. My feeling is that the breathing between these big phrases is not super efficient. It was actually quite. It's not deep enough and it's not quick enough. It was audible. You see, I could hear it, which is a sure sign that it's coming from up here, which we can't have. We need what I've learned as the splat breath. Yeah, so that's much lower and the abdominal tension release. And the great thing about that is the air then comes in on it. So, as you know, good. Same again. Could we have?
Let's do that again.
Please. That seemed a lot more successful.
I got lower.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, before I forget, frostig öde Fremde. I'm not hearing the end of the word frosty. I'm hearing frosty öde Fremde. Genau.
Frostig, okay.
Frostig öde Fremde. Keep the G, the sh on the support as well, because if you don't, then it will just sound like it's not there at all. Good. Okay. Now, so we've looked at the last bit. Now what I'd love to do
Chris,
is try and...
3-minute warning.
Okay, great. Now what I'd love to do is try and just put it together from was im Busen ich bar, was ich bin, and just be building bit by bit, as it were, from the back to get the stamina and get the feeling of what it takes. Okay, so we'll do that in the last couple of minutes. We'll do that.
Fourth system, was ich busen ich bar. I think some water.
But I need to...
Maybe play.
I need to play from here, yeah? This part.
Yeah. Can I have my pitches in a minute? Yeah. Okay. Was ich busen ich bar, was ich bin, wie der Tag ist mir
To be honest, it's not about the individual lines. It's about how they all build up, which is exactly what we've been talking about. Now, because of time, that's not going to be possible now. But that's a really good way to practice it. Practice the last 6 bars, add another 6 going back, add another 6 going back, and then you'll find the shape of it. You'll find the stamina points. There's also a difficulty in this last page. where you have F followed by F and another F and a fourth F. Yeah, he's stuck on those Fs, which is can be kind of no man's land, and also the whole long note breath getting stuck thing. So that's a specific technical thing that you can look at. But yeah, other than that, thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Great. My pleasure. Thank you. Thanks, Tatiana.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brenda. Lovely to hear you. All right. Our next singer today is Livia. Livia, if you could unmute yourself, let us know where you are calling from and what you'll be singing.
Yes, hello. So my name is Livia. I'm Australian. I live in Germany, but I'm currently in Graz in Austria, and I will be singing Vieni tu fretta from Macbeth.
I'm sorry, can I just come in here? Two things. One is that I don't hear you very well, Livia. I can't hear you very well. Sound very faint.
You will once she starts singing. That's why.
All right.
Yes, sorry.
And the other thing is, I'm not sure that your music is in the folder that I got sent.
Ah, okay, that's interesting. I thought I put it in there.
I will look into that right now.
Okay, sorry. I don't know if I'm being dense. Maybe I am, but
All good.
Okay.
Can she go ahead and start?
I actually didn't hear what she said. What the aria is.
Go ahead and say again, Livia.
So I'll be singing Vieni tu fretta from Macbeth.
Okay.
Yeah. Nel dì della vittoria io le incontrai, stupito io n'era per io di te cose, quando i nunzi del re mi salutaro sir di caudore. Vaticinio uscito dalle veggenti stesse che predissero un certo al capo mio. Racchiudi in cor questo segreto. Addio.
Well done, very well done. Excellent. I have to admit, you do sound a little distant still. I'm not sure whether if you didn't, it would be too much or something. My honest feeling is I'd just like to hear more of you.
Okay, I'm turning myself up. Is
that would be
better?
Good. I think that is better. Yeah, great.
Okay.
How difficult and awkward is it for us if we start at the end of the cabaletta?
That's okay. Do I need to use the track or is a cappella?
Well, this is what I'm thinking. Let's try without. If you can find your pitches.
Yes.
Then let's see if we can do it a cappella for a bit, and then maybe at the end we can go from the beginning and do another run through.
Certainly. Yeah. From the beginning of the cabaletta or further in?
Yeah. Or tutti sorgete.
Okay. Or tutti sorgete, ministri pedali, che il sangue incorrate, spingete mortali, che il sangue incorrate matali.
Okay, super. Thank you. Very good indeed. So there are quite a few pieces of information, clues that Verdi gives you into the kind of psychological state of this person. Yeah? This is where actually Wagner and Verdi are very similar, weirdly, even though, you know, often seen as kind of two poles. But I think they're very similar in this, is that we get a real insight into the psychology of the character. And in your case, it's a pretty messed up psychology, even at the beginning of the opera. You know, just like you would from Wagner. So I'd like to have much more attention paid, please, to the articulation. I've got the score here now. So we start pianissimo. I would like you to dare to start pianissimo, clearly in a way that projects, clearly in a way that is supported and is operatic, yes, but nonetheless, pianissimo. I often, with these kind of arias, which are kind of psychological arias, I want you to imagine that you're looking at a portrait of someone, like an old portrait of someone. And then at random points, this is a bit nightmarish image, the portrait comes and sort of grabs you by the throat, comes out of the frame. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think Verdi gives you plenty of opportunity to do that. For example, in the orchestra, he doesn't really give anything more than pianissimo, but then all of a sudden at the top of page 46 in my score, you, the singer, has a fortissimo, but then way back down to piano again. Yeah. Also, you have these short rests, these very short rests, sometimes just a 16th. In the phrases, which break up the phrase and just, again, they don't give us the illusion that you're kind of in control, if you know what I mean. They kind of destabilize us as the listener. Let's see if we can work a little bit of that into the into this cabaletta again. That's great, exactly. I would actually take a little break also after Ministri, weirdly, even though it's not written. Also, these 16th upbeats, you do them well, but I don't want them to be comfortable at all. Again, it's, you know, any other average Joe composer would have written 8th note upbeats just for kind of convenience, right? But Verdi doesn't. Yeah. Also, I feel, Livia, you've lost a bit of tempo compared with the backing track that you were singing to, and I think that tempo of the backing track was a good tempo. So just a little bit more pace. I know it's hard without any backing, but no, just keep it going.
Thank you.
Good, very good. Sorry to stop you. Infernali. That was really good. Yeah, it's so much better than che sangue incorrate, che sangue incorrate. So really quite short, the gue of sangue, and then quite let's say a German glottal stop, yeah, for incorate. That would be great. Maybe, would you mind just doing infernali and then going on from there? Good, good, good. Ah, yeah, but sorry. That was really good, but don't then give it away. It was so big. Keep it down, and then we have some more interesting things. We have accents. We have these daggers. Yeah, and we have all sorts of fun that we can have later on in the phrase. Don't give it away yet.
Okay. Same place?
Yes, please. Yeah. Good. You're a very good technique. You're very in control of your technique. I feel that, to be honest, in those bits, the staccato and the B major, I won't even attempt to imitate them. That you don't push yourself technically quite as much as you could. What I mean by that is you kind of rush and you kind of make it a bit easy for yourself. Yeah. And I think we need to get the diaphragm a bit more involved and just ask a bit more, because we've coached privately together and know you're an extremely good singer. I think there's more in your technique. There's more in your technique that you can apply to this if you really put your mind to it. Now, there's a tiny. I'm sorry to be so boring, but mortale che sangue. Yeah, that's really hard. Sanguine corate, sanguine corate. But we must have that gap. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yes. So for the little coloratura section going up, to make it more difficult for myself, so make it more of a staccato. I think I'm probably leaning a little bit more on the legato side. A
little legato, and that makes it easy, which makes it rush, and means it's not. It means it makes you just a romantic soprano. It's not freak show, which is what this is.
All right. We want freak show, okay.
Absolutely. Two more things. Sorry. Spinge te mortal. Yeah. He gives you accents sometimes, but then he gives you these arrow things. That's a sign for me that it should be really diaphragmatic. Yeah, come from the diaphragm. And so on. Yeah, scare me.
Okay.
Do we just do? There's no good place. Let's just do quel sangue incorate. Sorry. Gal. Even though it's a 16, work hard. Good. When you're practicing it, particularly the one coming down, you'd think of them probably as in twos. Ba-bum, 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 bum. Try the opposite. Da-bum, bum, 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 bum. So like it's coming down in thirds. You sort of trick yourself often with these coloratura passages that the grouping is different from what you think it is. Okay. I'm not saying it is different from what you think it is. I'm saying make yourself think that for a second, and that sort of puts the brake on in a good way. Yeah, so that we're making sure that we get all the intervals, the down ones on the way up and the up ones on the way down. Yeah,
I see.
That'd be great. That's enough of that. Let's go on and let's find. Okay, pianissimo, sottovoce, and legato. Okay, so you've got 3 bits of information there. It gives you that. Okay. For me, I'm sure that's what everybody does, but I wouldn't necessarily get that much slower there. I think it's sort of more interesting that we just finish stop and go here without any sort of warning that we're about to do a big musical kind of pause thing. You know, good. Just careful with the rhythm. That it's two quarters there.
That was not dotted. Probably the only time in the whole.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And again, just like as I was saying with the Du bist der Lenz, you know, this stuff really does make a difference to how the aria comes across. And then tenebra without no double N, just single. Di tenebra, imo, double M for immorta, but not N for tenebra.
That still sounded like a double N, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's because it is. Yeah, but short. It's quite fun to just be short, don't you think? Because the orchestra in this kind of music from this period of this style is kind of supporting you. Yes, it's on your side, if you like. Yes. All of a sudden it stops. Why?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe make a little bit more of the silence, like stop and
Exactly. Yeah. Like the phrase we have in English, like pregnant pause. Yeah, exactly. And then you jump out of the frame, like we're saying, and grab the and it's cool that the orchestra just kind of falls away, and you have to restart. It's like a car. You have to sort of restart it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go one more time to notte.
Oh, sorry, the same place.
Mm-hmm. Can we not? I think you've learned that wrong. We really have to get that out.
The crotchets. Sorry.
Teneav, yeah. Very good. Let me stop you there for a sec. Excellent. Yeah, you just got a little high, actually. It's a good problem to have, but so that very last part of coloratura, you did get a little high on the B. Like I say, good problem. Okay, that was great. Going back, that was super. Qual petto really worked well. That jumping out of the frame thing worked great. And then, but challenge yourself, come back again. Yeah? Right. You're not stable. You're not as psychologically stable, advancing this kind of logical argument. No, not at all. It's very modern in that way, even though this is really quite early Verdi. So there's that. The rest of that was excellent. I know what I wanted to say. Qual peto per corda. That is not quite as detached as you're making it. It's quite interesting. It gives you legato there. And then this kind of quasi staccato non all the way to vega, which you did very well. So again, just these extreme contrasts, and within one phrase or within sometimes one word, he goes in a different direction. You always find with Verdi, he gives you much more information than you think he does. You just sort of think, okay, well, that's an aria. It looks like a Verdi aria. But if you dig a little bit deeper, you get all these fantastic things kind of for free. You don't have to interpret them because you just do them. Good. Let's go. What about qual petto per cota? So that would be the second line of 47 in my score.
Attention to the articulations, but it came off the voice a little bit. I need to.
No, but a lot of that was really good, particularly the piano coming away. Just be careful. Qualpeto, the E sharp, yeah? Keep that really, really tight with the F sharp. Again, it just shows a little bit more of your unstableness. Could we go there? That would be the second qualpeto, if you like. Oh, great. Well, congratulations. That's excellent. Oh, yeah. That worked really well. And I'm really, really hearing, even over Zoom, and it's all, you know, with its obvious drawbacks, I'm really hearing articulation and dynamic color, which is a kind of salvation for this piece, you know, because otherwise, chicka jump, 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 chicka jump, jump. You know what I mean? It's a little bit rumpy pumpy, kind of not that interesting, but it's wonderfully interesting, you know, because there's so much to your character. You know, we don't need to talk too much about that because it's so obvious, so clear. Do we want to just, I think we've got maybe 3 or 4 minutes left. If you'd just like to start.
You have got 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I don't need the very beginning. I don't need the very beginning. If we do Vieni ta fretta, the cavatina then. Good, very good. Ta fretta, yes, it's a double T, but because of the tempo of it, you're kind of left hanging with nothing to sing. Ta fretta, yeah, and that's a shame because we still got to sing, right?
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Good. It's good. I always feel this in this kind of writing. There's something like, oh, it's so delicious. Oh, my idea is such a delicious one. Yeah. So each one of the 3. Yeah. You do 2 of them very well, and the third one you kind of give up on because you're thinking of the next note.
Okay.
Yeah. If we could do Laudaci impresa. So do you hear what you're doing? Sorry to be pedantic, but you're doing You're linking the third one to the next E flat. That's what I don't want.
Keep them.
That's great. Could we have it in the context of the phrase though?
Yeah.
Could we have the phrase, the Laudaci? Before we get high, sorry. Before you get very high, I wanted to save you there. The trills, yeah, kind of taking the trills a little bit for granted. I think they need to link a little bit more with the line. Yeah, maybe think of a specific number of notes in your head. You don't have to necessarily do them, but what I have at the moment is something rather fuzzy and kind of like not committed. Io ti darò. Yeah, exactly. Yes, please. Yes, good. Yes, I think what you're doing at the beginning of the trill is you're sort of hitting it. Yeah, and that's disturbing the line. Try and make it a bit more as one with the main line. Good.
A bit easier.
Yeah, did it feel easier? Good. Well, that's.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that came across much more linked with the sort of progress of the idea.
Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah,
great. I know we haven't really had a chance to dive into the cavatina, but I hope in the cavaletta that was some useful stuff. And yeah, just don't be afraid go where the crazy is. Yeah, in this particular area. Yeah, it's a really unusual area. And don't let the fact that it's Verdi, don't be polite about it. Is what I'm trying to say. Don't be polite with Verdi. But you have great, technically you're all over it. So that's impressive.
Super.
Well done.
Thank you. That's nice to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Livia. Brava. Wonderful singing. Our next singer is Leah. Leah, if you could please unmute yourself and let us know where you are calling from and what you will be singing.
Good afternoon, Dr. White. My name is Leah Gunter. I'm a soprano from South Africa, Pretoria specifically. And I shall be singing Dich teure Halle. And I'm being accompanied by Susan Swanepoel on piano. Good?
Yep, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Well done. Tremendously energetic piano playing as well from your colleague. It's not brilliantly balanced actually. Just as it's coming across on. I wonder if I could ask your colleague just to play a little bit quieter. The energy is fantastic, but
No problem.
yeah, sorry, it's purely a technical thing. That would be great. Okay, good. What's what do you know about this character of Elizabeth?
Yeah, so she's actually supposed to be quite a joyful person, I would say, especially in this sort of aria. In Act 2, when she's coming in and saying she's greeting this hall again, and she's hoping that it will revive something for her and Tannhäuser. Yeah. It's actually quite, there's sort of a dual thing to her, I would say, because of what happens to her later. Yeah, that's about something I can say.
Sure. I mean, yes, I think, absolutely the joy of it's a wonderful way to start a role, isn't it? I mean, not just to start the act or to start the aria, but to start the entire role. And I felt that. I felt the kind of that kind of joyful intensity that you had in the first phrase. So good for you. There is some melancholy there as well, though, isn't there? I mean, Wecken mich aus düsterem Traum, obviously a dreamer, obviously someone who has a connection already with Tannhäuser. Obviously, notice, Elizabeth is a very pious person, say in German, fromm, and Tannhäuser is this kind, is torn both ways. So there's definitely some shade. It's not all light in this area. There's definitely some shade. But what you did very well was what's very difficult. So you have this tremendous introduction, which was played so well, and then it just cuts out, and you've got to sing. Yeah.
That's, if I may ask your opinion, do you feed off the accompaniments introduction in terms of, she's really giving that a lot of energy, and then you start feeding off from that? Or do you sort of kind of pull it back a little? I don't know.
No, definitely not. I would say it's actually similar to what we were talking about. I don't know if you heard it, but at the beginning of the session with the Du bist der Lenz, where it's the aria which weirdly starts at a very high point. Yeah. If you sort of warm into it, then you kind of think, well, what was the introduction for? And actually, the introduction to the act is a fair bit longer than this. And there's another statement of the all that stuff, and there's some amazing virtuoso playing in the strings and everything like that. So you're definitely set up to burst onto the scene.
Yes. And especially with the middle section as well. I tend sometimes to, when I perform the aria, I tend to slow down there as well, because I feel from a poetic point of view this is more internalizing. But I think my general question is it really important to stick to the tempo the whole time? Obviously it is, but within boundaries. No?
Well, okay, so when you say that you slow down slightly in the middle section, that's you and every single other Elizabeth who's ever lived. To the extent that Wagner writes a personal note. You know, so the score that you've sent me, this is the Peters edition, which has lots of Wagner's personal, the things that he said.
Alles streng im Takt.
So it's absolutely right that we need to find the shade as well as the light, like I was saying, and like you were saying as well. And the challenge is how to find that in vocal color and articulation. 90% that, and maybe 10% with tempo. Because I think the idea that it would be literally the same tempo as the Victoria Halle beginning, it's not wrong, but it's just not realistic. It would just never happen. Excuse me. But on the other hand, we definitely need to keep thinking in two, at least in two, if not in one, actually. So just one beat in the bar, just to get that horizontal. And Wagner writes in a slowing down. You understand? If you slow down as well, then you're kind of doing his work for him, which is not necessary.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, because I believe in we should stick to come scritto, but it is when your own interpretation takes over, that's where things start to become muddy, and it's just with a specific aria. It's
of course, interpretation is not the same thing as tempo.
Yeah.
I mean, tempo is one small facet of interpretation, and it's often how do I put this? It's often the easy way out, if you know what I mean. Oh, I'll just do something with the rubato. Actually, if we think really from bar to bar, what color am I wanting to bring across here, and how am I going to do that vocally? Then that can account for so much of the light and shade that we want, without having to change the tempo too much. But it's all, it's a pendulum, and like I say, I'm not kind of like a metronome strict. That's not right either. But on the other hand, what we would call agogic, you know what I mean by that? Agogic rubato is part of your armory, but not the kind of number one weapon.
Awesome. Great.
All right.
That makes sense.
Great. Should we go again? And then I'll stop you periodically. I'll just put my hand up. Okay?
Great. Yes.
Thank you. Super. Really, really good. Just a couple of little points which will help with the energy at the beginning. It's the little notes. It's so much one of my hobby horses, I'm afraid. Those little notes to swing into the next beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also, I like fundamentally what you do. Geliebter Raum, that's the end of the first kind of sentence. But I'm hearing that you do a color change, right? Froh grüß ich dich, geliebter Raum. I think that's enough. I don't think you need to also do a rubato into that.
Oh,
Not
okay.
yet. You've only been singing 8 bars. You know?
Yeah.
You're just at this point. You're just setting out your stall.
Okay, so not necessarily slower. Okay, yes.
No. I'd also like to just do an experiment. Perhaps your pianist can help you with this. I'd like you to sing the first 8 bars, and I would like your pianist to play underneath it. Yeah. So.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then with Froh grüß ich dich, obviously the same thing in D major.
Is it okay? In triplets, yeah.
Yes, exactly, yeah. So as if the orchestra hasn't stopped. Because I think one big thing about being really brave and confident about that first phrase is you have to imagine the orchestra continues. So if we do it literally now that the orchestra is continuing, let's see if that brings something to how you shape the phrase.
Good,
okay. So perhaps we could have 4 bars introduction or something like that. And then, the pianist just carries on.
Wow.
Probably feels bizarre, right? I mean, give me some feedback how that felt.
It's fantastic, actually. It's I've never done it like this. Yeah, but it's such. yeah, it's quite a different feeling. I wasn't really aware of the fact that I was singing.
Right, interesting. Yeah. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you both to do that exactly the same as what you just did again. But as soon as you get to Geliebter Raum, if the pianist could stop playing, and then you, Leah, rewind and then just sing as it's written.
Okay. So before Geliebter Raum, go back to the...
No. Finish the phrase, finish Geliebter Raum, but then the pianist would not play on, and then I would like you to go back and sing so that you get immediately a feeling how it was with this fake accompaniment, and then how it really will be.
Okay, without.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Net weer dieselfde ding soos saam.
Great.
Wonderful exercise. I absolutely love it. Yeah,
okay, perfect. Yeah. So that's something you can really use when you're working together with your pianist, with your coach. Yeah. Just completely revolutionizes the whole way you go about it. Good. In Der Erwachen seiner Lieder, we did that. Düsterem Traum was actually very good. In fact, you did very well with the tempo there after we talked about it. Because I didn't feel, the thing is, I didn't feel like you were being didactic about it, or just doing it in tempo because somebody told you to do it in tempo. I didn't feel it was like that at all. I felt it was like much more organic and more natural, and that's the thing. With Verdi and Wagner, the more you obey, the more organic and free it sounds. The more unfree you sing it, the freer it sounds. That's because these are people at the absolute peak of their game, right? And also what was great, I thought, aus mir entfloh der Frieden, this line, absolutely no trouble doing that in one breath. That tempo. So, so you win something there as well. You have people think, wow, she sang that whole phrase, it's great.
They say kein portamento nach unten. That I don't know if I did a portamento.
No,
I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
I would have pulled a face.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Good. Good. Now, you know how we were saying with the Du bist der Lenz, that it starts very intense, goes down into a kind of valley, and then climbs out again into the kind of climax. This aria does exactly the same, because that's the kind of base point, isn't it? Yeah. So when you then next start to sing, wie jetzt mein Busen hoch sich hebt, you're at the start of a journey. Yeah. You're at the start of a long journey. So don't give everything all at once. Orchestra the same. Don't give everything all at once, and let the thing build, and it kind of builds on its own.
So not too passionate with the yet.
Exactly.
That you have time for the ending.
That's right. Okay. That's right. And energy and voice left over, and we want to hear at the end. We want to hear some sounds that we haven't heard yet.
All right.
Some in reserve. Good. Let's. I'd actually quite like to hear the middle section again, if you don't mind.
No.
Why don't we try In der Erwachen seiner Lieder? That's the
India.
die Freude zog aus dir. Erst mein Busen sich regnet, so scheinst du jetzt mir schwarz und der Weg und Weg so nicht könnte so scheint alles, stolz und
Chris, you're muted.
No.
Sorry. Very good indeed. Yes, I found that sequence of chords at the end very difficult to play. So compliments to your pianist. Good. How did that feel? Did it feel like you were on a bit more of a single journey rather than phrase by phrase?
Yeah, much more without controlling the sound, but feeling much more in control in terms of pace.
Yeah.
And pacing yourself vocally. Yeah, it wasn't like, it helps that you don't have to put the onset of the VX, puts you in a very high sort of place in terms already. So you can just take your time there. So just really helps.
Take your time. Exactly. Good. Now there are a couple of places. If you're really strict about the tempo, as we have been, when Wagner actually does give you a ritenuto, then you can use it and enjoy it. Yeah. Der mich und dich so neu beliebet nicht, weil er mir. You know, you can really go to town on it. I always say with these rits and rows, you have to earn them. You know, so if you've been splurging on rits and rows earlier in the aria, then you haven't earned it. But if you have been, you know, good so far, then you earn it by that point. So use it.
Fantastic.
What did I want to say? There was one. Oh yeah, I know. Towards the end, this is all very, very good. I would say the last kind of ascent, you know, climb the mountain, starts at the più mosso. Sei mir gegrüßt, du teure Halle, sei, and then these marvelous syncopations that we have. Halle, sei mir gegrüßt, sei mir gegrüßt. I want you to be really, really active. I mean, it certainly wasn't wrong what you were doing, but you didn't quite engage with those, you know, with the excitement that the character has at that point, you know. So if we could, maybe we could try just the three sei mir gegrüßts. So page 92 in my score.
Yeah, from the first sei. Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
That's it.
Sei mir gegrüßt, sei mir gegrüßt,
Okay, good. Thank you. Not bad. what I want you to do is actually put prepare the z of the zai on the beat, on the violin. 1, 2, zai, make it 1, 2, zai, make it. You see what I mean? So that we get only vowel on the syncopating spot. 1 I, yeah? 1 zai, make it. You had the energy this time, but you didn't quite prepare it. Just a half second earlier, yeah? We could just have that in isolation. I don't need you to go up to the B again, but just that little bit in isolation would be great. Maybe du teure Halle sei mir gegrüßt.
Okay.
That's it.
Was that fine?
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine, but it wasn't.
Wasn't
super.
Yeah.
It's also to do with the way. Sorry, just to interrupt. It's also to do with the way you come off Halle, isn't it? Halle sei mir gegrüßt. Yeah.
Shall we try again that one? Just that part?
Yes, I'm just trying to find a few more words to help. Halle sei. Were you there when I was talking about the release breath, releasing the abdominal tension so that the air rushes in? I was talking about that with the first candidate today. That's what you need there. A really efficient splat breath.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, not bad. It's got to have a bit more. Sorry.
3-minute warning.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thanks, Julie. Leah, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I'll work on that to just get that precise. Yeah.
It's a bit more. It's a bit more whole body as well. It's good. The position you're in is good. I can see most of body, and I would expect a little bit more engagement with the support muscles, lower breath, exactly, because that's where you've got muscles which are strong enough to affect. Because obviously we're shifting lots of air in this kind of music, and that's where you've got the muscles that are strong enough to do it. Okay, but otherwise it's in good shape. So think a bit more about the overarching structures, and that will mean that you don't have to worry too much about rubato and so on, apart from the one place where he really does write it. And then sort of I often talk about like reinvesting. So if you're not investing in time and rubato, reinvest that sort of brain space in vocal color, which you were doing very well.
Great. Thank you. The beginning was especially, it was great. I'll definitely do that again. Not while I'm performing, obviously, but thank you so much. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Happy to help. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Leah. Wonderful to hear you. We are going to take a short break now, 5 minutes, and we'll be back at, it looks like Central European time, about 16:34-ish. See you soon. Gráinne, can I get you up? All right, welcome back. Thank you so much. Our next singer today is Kerstin. Kerstin, if you could please let us know where you are calling from and what you'll be singing.
Hi, my name is Kerstin Krühler and I'm calling from Germany. I'm going to sing the Todesverkündigung from the Wahlkurier. Sorry, my playback went out.
No problem. You can start it again or pick it up wherever you left off. Your choice.
Sorry, something going wrong. So maybe it has more sense if I do it with the piano. Because the playback is always going out from the drive folder.
Okay.
Sure,
okay.
that's fine.
So I start with Nur Todgeweihten.
That's fine, absolutely. This is a very long scene. We need to decide, I think, before you start, how far we're going to go, so to use the time the best we can. Yeah. Okay, so...
Is there some comment you want for the first phrases already? You want to say?
Yes, of course, several things, but let's keep going. let me get a sense of how you're feeling the whole scene, and I will stick my hand up when I think it's time for me to start talking.
Okay.
Okay.
So go further with Nur Todgeweihten.
Sure.
Nur Todgeweihten taugt mein Anblick. Wer mich erschaut, der scheidet vom Lebenslicht. Auf der Wahlstatt allein erschein ich edlen. Wer mich gewollt zur Wahl, hor ich ihn mir.
Good. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things for that much, and then of course we'll go on. It's very difficult to do effectively with backing track anyway, to be honest. So it's probably good that we do it in this kind of cleaner way. Okay, so can you just, for the benefit of everybody else, can you just give a very quick summary of what's going on here?
Yes, Fricka finally made Wotan say to Brunhilde that she has to not to defend Sigmund, and Sigmund is going to be killed. Because Fricka
Yes.
doesn't want that Sieglinde and Sigmund are together. She was against that.
Okay, very good. So you are appearing to Sigmund.
I'm appearing to tell Sigmund that he's going to die and that he will follow me to Valhalla.
Exactly, perfect. And you're saying that he's taught geweiht. That means, as you know, of course, that he is, marked out for death, or he's chosen for death. And then you, as the Valkyrie, you are choosing. So Kuren, the fallen hero on the battlefield. Yeah.
So
Why am I asking you?
Honor, I think it's a big honor for him.
Well, yeah, that's a very good point. Yes, and you don't appear to people unless they're going to die. So in that sense, you're appearing to Sigmund in a kind of dreamlike state, or in a kind of what you might call twilight. We say in English, twilight zone. Yeah, between waking and sleeping, between death and life. Yeah. So how are we going to get that into those two pitches? Sigmund. Because what's amazing about the Brunhilde character right from the beginning is that she has to embody all these different personalities. Because at the beginning of the act, as you know, she's kind of like almost a hooligan. She's kind of really somebody who's not really under control and is singing all these hoya to hos and swooping up to the top C's and so on, and then sort of mocking Wotan for being under Fricka's thumb, and then having the long conversation for basically listening to Wotan while he unpacks all the stuff that's happening. And then you do what we would say in English, your day job, which is to go down to the battlefield and to pick out the heroes. Okay. Yeah. So it's a whole different color again, even within one act of one opera that you need to present to us. It's very interesting. He gives you a minim, a half note, and then a dotted quarter note, a dotted crotchet. Yeah, so this is a very, very long phrase. I say it's a phrase, it's two notes, but it's a very, very long and very connected phrase. And what it must not sound is kind of routine, like you're just saying somebody's name, hey, you over there. Yeah. And really dare to be quite long with the second syllable, but make sure the second syllable has a proper ending, a proper stop. Yeah. Chord. Yeah. So the chord comes, again, it's difficult, impossible actually with the backing, but you kind of make the chord happen, if you like, through the long second pitch that you have. Yeah. And then Ich bin's der bald du voll. It really should feel, the way Wagner's written it, it really should feel like time has stood still. Yeah, the time is not moving anymore. Because obviously that's one of the things about when you're dead, right? Is that time? I mean, obviously it's a big philosophical question, but the way time moves or doesn't move, that's what Wagner is composing here. It's absolutely amazing, and it sounds like it's so slow, like it's almost going backwards. It's so slow, yeah. But I need you to not be afraid of that slowness and really embrace it. And each tiny little phrase, Ich bin's der bald du folgst, for example. Yeah, is as long as a super long phrase in a Liebestod or something.
You can really chew every syllable.
Yes, yes,
like
yes,
yeah. Exposed, you can really like Ich bin's, really like you go into it.
Exactly, every syllable really, really matters. Yeah. Let's try from the beginning again with that in mind. That was really good. right up to the end. Der Bald du Volks. I felt that from du to folks was a bit easy, but the rest of that was really great. For example, auf mich, like the F, the M, the vowel, then all really, really supported and connected. Yeah. And that's terrific. Good. Let's go on to the next phrase.
You felt that there was a gap between du folgst.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
But I don't need to repeat it. We must go on, otherwise we won't cover any territory. So let's go on with nur tot geweihten.
Nur tot geweihten taugt mein Anblick.
Good, good. That's very good. What I'd like to just point out now at the beginning is that there is a slight danger with this, particularly when it's the same note several times, is that we get what I call scooping. Exactly, yeah. Tot geweihten. Yeah, beware. Okay, let's try again.
Try again. Nur tot geweihten taugt mein Anblick. Wer mich erschaut, der scheidet vom Lebenslicht. Auf der Wahlstatt aller... auf der... I know what you...
Ganz genau. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Sorry to...
That's all right.
Sorry to go first.
Sorry, Wagner.
Auf der Wahlstatt allein erschein ich edlan. Wer mich gewahrt, zur Wahl chor ich in mir.
That's good. At the very end, chor ich in mir.
More even?
I would say simply longer. I mean, not slower exactly, but you weren't quite. I often compare, getting all the text possible. So, like when you juice a lemon, yeah, and you get all the juice you can. Not quite. They weren't quite juicing the whole lemon there. Chor ich
in mir.
Yeah, I would never usually suggest this, but in mir. So ein kleines Schattenvokal.
Yeah.
Good, very good. I mean, it takes a lot of guts to sing that slowly. It really does. And it also takes a lot of planning in terms of the breath control. You think, you see a phrase, you think, oh, it's only 4 bars long, but actually it's cut 40 seconds. I mean, it's just incredibly long and time-consuming phrase, even though it looks like so little. So it takes real, courage, and then at a very basic technical level, just planning. Let's go on now.
Zu Wallfahrt, or should I repeat?
Nee, zur Wallfahrt, exactly. Let's do 2 or 3 more phrases, then I'll interrupt again. Okay, you just carry on.
Yeah. Zu Wallfahrter, der dich gewählt, führ ich dich nach Walhall, folgst du mir. Gefallener Helden, Heeresschar, umfängt dich hold mit
Okay, thank you. Let's work backwards from there.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun if we did that in one breath. Sieglinde sieht Siegmund dort nicht.
Yes.
And then quite underlined, dort nicht. Let me be perfectly clear. Yeah,
Okay.
that's not going to happen. Yeah. And at this point, you Brunhilde, you don't think that's a problem. You're just giving him the information and being a little strict with him.
It's not
you don't get.
It's not pain driven. It's like more like you will not see him. Point.
No, kind of, yeah. I mean, his pain is clear, yeah, and that's clear in the orchestra. But for you as a character, you haven't understood this human love business yet because you're not human. Good. That was fine. Yeah, I do need a whole different color. Having said that, this E flat minor, Erdenluft muss sie noch atmen. Maybe a little wider in the pharynx, to be honest, yeah. So that we have a bit more of a warmth in the sound and a bit more of a darkness in the sound at that particular point, only there, that particular point. Actually, the previous phrase with Wunschmädchen, because there we have the kind of motifs of Freya, believe it or not, from way back in Wrangel. Yeah, then that's a different color again. Yeah, there's a lightness to that. Yeah. And then the Erdenluft coming up, that's a darkness. And then this is a lightness, yeah? So I would say, I mean, yes, it's all written legato, but I wouldn't, this kind of digging into each syllable that we've had in the beginning of the scene, that's not quite what you want here. Wunschmädchen, walten dort hier. You can enjoy that bit a little because you get precious few chances to kind of really enjoy a long line in this scene. They're all relatively short. Good. Page 168 then, going backwards again. Gefallene Heldenhärte Schar, umfang. Is it umfängt or umfängt? Sorry, umfängt. That was rhythmically very, very approximate, shall we say. If you could just, I don't need it now, but if you could just look at that again when you are practicing. Great. So what I'd like to have is page 169, the Wunschmädchen line, and then a real contrast for the Erdenluft line. See if we can get those two colors really, really clear in our mind.
Yeah, okay. Wunschmädchen wollten dorthin, Wohltanns Tochter reicht ihr traulich den Trank.
That's good. What I miss is the zart. Yeah, it's not quite zart yet. Yeah. Reicht ihr traulich.
More süß?
Ja, genau.
Also. Wunschmädchen weiten dorthin, Wohltanns Tochter reicht ihr traulich den Trank.
It's very good. Just one tiny thing. We don't need to repeat it. Legato, but not portamento.
Ta-da! Yeah, I get it.
Good. Let's continue. Erdenluft.
Erdenluft?
Yeah.
So it's more a thing. So it's the final state. This will end here.
Yeah.
Like he will go and she will stay.
Yeah. Sorry to stop you. Sorry. Could I just insist just a cleaner onset at the beginning? It was a little bit.
Yeah. Is it still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Erdenluft muss sie noch atmen. Sieglinde sieht Siegmund dort nicht.
Yes, not bad. I need longer phrases. I think you can probably do the whole thing. I don't think you need to breathe there. And then don't forget what we said before. Sieglinde sieht Siegmund dort nicht.
So
Let's not. No, let's not do it again. Let's continue because, yeah, I'm afraid we're only going to cover a few pages, which would be a shame. So, du saßt der Walküre.
Du saßt der Walküre sehenden Blick, mit ihr musst du nun ziehen.
Good. Let me just clear up the vowel. Du saßt should be the same. I heard something very strange. Saßt or something. Saßt der Walküre. So sorry. So at this point, Sigmund has for the first time said, "I'm not going with you." It's the first time anyone has ever said that in however long you've been doing this gig of picking up dead heroes. Yeah, however long that is. It could be maybe a few months, or it could be 10,000 years. We don't know because that's myth for you. You know, that's myth. So at this point, I think you are baffled. You understand? And we have in orchestra, yeah, which I always think is like Sigmund. You know, by making this decision, he's kind of shaking the whole foundations of the world that she knows anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like a little earthquake tremor goes. Yeah. So you have this bafflement, yeah? No, you don't understand. If you've seen me, then that's the deal.
And you have the fate motive everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Muss es sein, genau.
Yeah.
Very nice. Let's go on because I want to cover as much as we can.
Okay.
Solange du lebst. In my experience, normally from when Sigmund says mit dir gehe ich nicht, the tempo of the scene very gradually starts to increase. Very gradually, just so you know in the back of your mind. I mean, it's over many, many pages, but that's when the movement starts. Yeah?
But it's clearly here that it starts here, yes.
Okay. Solange du lebst.
Solange du lebst, zwäng dich wohl nichts, doch zwing dich Toren der Tod, in dir zu künden kam ich her.
Yeah, good. So you are strict with him now. You call him a fool. Yeah. And yeah, you say, silly, stupid boy, just do it. Just come with me. So we need a harder edge now to the sound, particularly towards the end. I would say there is enough time to go zwingt dich. Sorry. Yeah, genau.
In your book, is there zwingt or is there zwäng?
I have, well, both. What I'm talking about is zwingt dich.
I have got zwäng.
No, two bars later.
Ah, oh, zwingt. Oh, of course, sorry. That's the same, okay. Zwingt dich Toren.
Yeah, so not zwingt dich, but zwingt dich.
Zwingt dich.
Genau.
You want me to repeat this?
Yeah, I would actually. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Solang du lebst, zwäng dich wohl nichts, doch zwingt dich Toren der Tod, in dir zu künden kam ich her.
Good, and hair is short, isn't it? Komm ich her. Yeah. Again,
3-minute warning.
Thank you. Again, these shorter Wagner endings are always surprising and always worth doing.
Okay. Can you do one phrase more? Or...
I was wondering if we could skip a little ahead.
Yes.
We find something that's just a little bit longer. Let's do this line, page 178, seeing as we've only got a very short time. So wenig achtest du ewige Wonne.
So wenig achtest du ewige Wonne, alles wär dir das arme Weib, das müd und harmvoll matt von dem Schoße dir hängt. Nicht sonst hieltest du her.
Good, and that provides a link. So yeah, good. So this now is it's good that we arrive at this phrase, and that's the last phrase we do, because this is the phrase where your psychology is turning. Yeah, you're not just baffled and irritated, but you are gaining sympathy for Sigmund and Sieglinde and for the baby, which you know is there's a baby, and your modus operandi, you know, what you are going to do in this situation is shifting. Not just say, I'm not listening and take him, which presumably you could do, but ultimately to help him, enable the baby to be born, etc. This is in many ways a turning point for the whole ring cycle. So this Todesverkündigung, it's very bitty and short, but each phrase you have to think deeply about where you are psychologically and how that affects the voice, how that affects how you sing it. Yeah. Yes. Good.
So
you just need
yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And why has he done that and not that? That's a question that Wagner singers should ask themselves all the time. Why has he done this and not that? And even if you find an answer for yourself that works for you, that's fine. I'm not saying there is necessarily right answers, although there are many right answers, but there are also, what's really important is that I hear that you've thought about the phrase and you've made vocal, acoustic sound decisions based on it, not just cerebral, just in the head, but really affecting the way you sing, the consonants and so on. Just sometimes you are a little bit sketchy with the rhythm. So just make sure that you really have learned it right, because this is the kind of work that you do once in your life, and then it's gespeichert, it's saved on the hard drive. And if you save it wrong, you know what a waste of time that is.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
At the end. Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kerstin.
Thank you.
Beautiful singing. All right, our next and last singer today is Gráinne. If you could please unmute yourself and let us know where you're calling from and what you will be singing.
Yes, I'm calling you from Cork City in Ireland, and I'm going to be singing Ich habe keine guten Nächte from Electra.
Can you possibly turn down your input volume just a wee bit?
Yeah, no worries. So is that better?
I didn't notice a difference.
Okay, let me see. I'll go on to Zoom, input, audio, output, input. Yeah, is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Shall I start?
Yes, please.
Yeah, brilliant. Ich habe keine guten Nächte. Weißt du kein Mittel gegen Träume? wer älter wird, der träumt. Allein, es lässt sich vertreiben. Es gibt Bräuche, es muss freies Gebräuche geben. Darum bin ich so behängt mit Steinen, denn es wohnt in jedem ganz sicher eine Kraft. Man muss nur wissen, wie man sie nützen kann. Wenn du nur wolltest, du könntest etwas sagen, was mir nützt. Ja, du, denn du bist klug, in deinem Kopf ist alles stark. Du könntest vieles sagen, was mir nützt. Wenn auch ein Wort nichts weiter ist, was ist denn ein Hauch? Und doch kriegt zwischen Tag und Nacht, wenn ich mit offenen Augen lieg, ein Etwas hinüber mich. Es ist kein Wort, es ist kein Schmerz, es drückt mich nicht, es wirkt mich nicht, nicht ist es. Nicht einmal ein Alp. Und dennoch, es ist so fürchterlich, dass meine Seele sich wünscht, erhängt zu sein und jedes Glied in mir schreit nach dem Tod, und dabei leb ich und bin nicht einmal krank. Du siehst mich doch, seh ich wie eine Kranke. Kann man denn vergehen lebend, wie ein faules Aas? Kann man zerfallen, wenn man gar nicht krank ist? Zerfallen, wachen Sinnes wie ein Kleid, zerfressen von den Motten. Und dann schlaf ich und träume, dass sich mir das markende Knochen löst und taumle wieder auf und in den gelaufen und was unter dem Vorhang reingerät, ist noch nicht der Fall am Morgen. Nein, immer noch die Fackel vor der Tür, die grüßlich tut, wie ein Lebendiges um meine Schlafe lauert. Diese Tür ineinander haben, wer sie immer schickt, ein jeder Dämon lässt von uns, sobald das Rechte
Okay. How thrilling. You have a really ideal voice for this. And you engage really so well with the psychology. If we thought Lady Macbeth was bonkers an hour and a half ago, then this is a whole different world. Yeah, this is kind of, in terms of, this is really as extreme as Strauss gets musically.
Yeah.
You know, he, as I'm sure you know, in his kind of compositional progress, this is the kind of pinnacle of the complexity, and also of the kind of Freudian nightmare that was being unleashed on the world at that particular time, you know, and coupled with this great text, this great poetry. Okay, so just a technical point. I mean, technical as in the sound. It was peaking quite badly still.
Sorry about. Yeah, I've actually turned the input down even more now.
Right,
I mean,
okay.
it might be the thing that maybe if I take my headphones out and stand back a bit, would that help things? Maybe.
Let's see.
Okay.
I mean, let's work through it.
Yeah.
I don't know how easy it's going to be to work through it with the backing track, because it's obviously. I wonder how we should do this, but maybe we should. We should play the backing track. Sorry, tell me.
Yeah, I have a learning track of this that Richard Black did. Yeah. And to be honest with this, that might be an easier option in terms of finding places.
Yeah, if you can call that up, that might be a good idea.
No worries. Yeah, not a problem.
This, by the way, is this line, ich habe keine guten Nächte.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have this tradition in Ireland at all, but the orchestra, when an orchestra hears a line which is kind of funny or kind of wants to agree with it, sort of they shuffle their feet in the pit.
Oh, okay.
This one, I have no good nights, you know, because they're always playing in the orchestra pit, right? So they always go shuffle, 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 shuffle. They always agree wholeheartedly with that sentiment.
Oh, that's wonderful. I didn't know that. I've been to Electra like a number of times, including at Deutsche Oper. And that's a really nice bit of info. So thank you.
Oh, we did it. Trust me, we did it. Even if you didn't hear it, we definitely did it. Okay, that first line. You've had this whole pre-scene with Electra and with your kind of servants, and your servants are very suspicious, and they say, no, she's lying, she's taking the mickey. And you and Electra have finally got your way round to what you think Clytemnestra thinks is, you know, interfacing, telling the truth. Yeah. And so this first line is really a confession. It's a bit like you literally go into a confession with a priest. Ich habe keine guten Nächte. You know, just this kind of dripping with the whole, you know, Clytemnestra is psychologically dripping with blood, isn't she?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And she said, I loved it. I mean, the text is just, I mean, he's the greatest writer of German ever, Hofmannsthal, in my opinion. Darum bin ich so behängt mit Steinen. You know, you can feel this kind of, this guilt, and there's an enormous sort of multi-paragraph thing, which if you look in your Electra score, not now, but when you're studying it, when she first comes in, this da-dum, 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 da-dum.
Yeah.
There's a big, long description of what she looks like. And it's incredibly detailed. Like her face has gone yellow and her eyes are hollowed out and you can see her cheekbones, and she hasn't slept in, you know, like literally hasn't slept in a week. And she's wearing this, you know, kind of purple, and she's got all these talismans on her, you know, these kind of lucky charm things. Those are all defense mechanisms, aren't they? You know, she's defending herself psychologically. And then at this point, when you start singing, to bring it back to the actual singing, this is, like I say, like just an anonymous person in a confessional. Ich habe keine guten Nächte. There's a simplicity to that, you know?
Yes, yeah.
So that's a long way round of me saying just that's a very simple line.
Yeah.
And then Strauss, you know, he's so brilliant. Weißt du kein Mittel, you can träume. Yeah, this kind of pleading. Yes, each time a little higher. Weißt du kein Mittel, F sharp. Ich can träume, G sharp. Yeah. This plead. You've never been like this with Electra before, right? I mean, you know, this is the first time. And she says, ich habe eine Lust, mit meiner Mutter zu reden, wie noch nie. I want to talk to my mother like I never wanted to talk to her before. That's what she says earlier.
Yeah.
Good. So keep these early exchanges very simple, I would say.
Okay.
And then when you see these kind of surges up, when she's trying, like hoping against hope that she can somehow erase her conscience. Yeah?
Yeah.
It happens later as well. Es gibt Bräuche. Es muss für alles. Richtige Bräuche. Yeah? That means kind of, in this sense, it means kind of rituals, you know. And as you know, you're prepared, you know, if it's some girl in your employ who has to be like disemboweled or whatever, to kind of placate the gods, more than happy to do that, you know.
Yes.
So it's but we're not quite there yet, you understand? So we just need to pace it, and we need to keep the simplicity, and we need to, and then this kind of surging kind of kind of wherever you can find that kind of sick legato, you understand? Kind of
absolutely.
Okay, enough blah blah from me. Let's start again.
Okay, I'm just going to line this up. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Things around. It's around here.
Ich habe keine guten Nächte. Weißt du kein Mittel gegen Träume? Träumst du, Mutter? Wer älter wird, der träumt.
Sorry, can I just stop you there?
Yeah.
It's a small thing, but it's relevant to what we've been saying about the simplicity. Der älter wird, 1, 2, 3. Der Träumt. Yeah. You do a big Träumt.
Yeah.
That's not right. Der Träumt. You know, when you get as old as I am, you know, that's the sense of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Again, it's this intimacy, isn't it? It's a mother talking to a daughter, you know, or the 2 generations. There's an intimacy to that, simplicity to that, which I'd love to keep. If you can just go back 10 seconds, that would be great, and then
absolutely.
pick it up wherever. I don't care where.
Ich habe keine guten Nächte. Weißt du kein Mittel gegen Träume? Träumst du, Mutter? Wer älter wird, der träumt. Allein, es lässt sich vertreiben. Es gibt Bräuche. Es muss für alles richtige Bräuche geben. Darum bin ich so behängt mit Steinen, denn es wohnt in jedem ganz sicher eine Kraft. Man muss nur wissen, wie man sie nützen kann, wenn du nur wolltest, du könntest etwas sagen, was mir nützt. Mutter, ja, denn du bist klug, in deinem Kopf ist alles stark. Du könntest vieles sagen, was mir nützt. Wenn auch ein Wort nichts weiter ist. Was ist denn ein Hof? Und doch kriegt zwischen Tag und Nacht, wenn ich mit offenen Augen lieg, ein etwas hinüber mich. Es ist kein Wort, es ist kein Schmerz, es drückt mich nicht. Es wird mich nicht, nicht ist es. Nicht einmal ein Alp. Und dennoch, es ist so fürchterlich, dass meine Seele sich wünscht, erhängt zu sein, und jedes Glied in mir schreien nach dem Gott, und dabei leib ich und bin nicht einmal krank. Du siehst mich doch, seh ich wie eine Kranke.
Hey, can I stop you there for a second?
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. There was about 2 minutes where I had a internet blackout.
That's okay. I was wondering.
I'm sorry.
But I
It's
just
why I
thought
didn't
I'd keep
stop
going.
you. No. I'm really sorry. So the last I heard was we were talking about der Älter wird, der träumt, and that was really simple. Yeah. I'm happy to do 5 minutes more if everybody else is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
my fault.
very happy.
So, sorry.
You're grand.
Can we go back?
Yeah. I'll just go a little bit forward. So is that far back enough or not?
That's perfect. That's perfect. Let's talk about that bit.
Okay.
Yeah, the Bräuche. Now, the first time, es gibt Bräuche. It's nicht für alles. Richtige Bräuche. You know, gives you the pianissimo there.
Yeah.
So Bräuche. This is somebody who is mad, gone mad with superstition. Yeah, absolutely mad. Looking at horoscopes and tea leaves and I don't know.
Signed up to QAnon.
Well, absolutely, just absolutely lost it completely. Yeah. So I want to have that pianissimo there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like if you say Bräuche too loudly, you'll scare them away.
Okay.
And then look what he writes. Geben. Short.
Okay.
Even you don't believe it, even yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's have those little lines.
Yeah, brilliant. I'll just get back a little bit here.
Yeah.
So.
Träumst du, Mutter?
Wer älter wird, der träumt. Allein, es lässt sich vertreiben. Es gibt Bräuche. Es muss für alles richtige Bräuche geben. Darum bin ich so behängt mit Steinen.
Yeah, great. Let's stop a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad. This geben, you do opera there. Geben.
Okay.
I don't want that. Geben.
Geben.
Yeah, just get rid of it. Exactly.
Okay.
And then this is a fantastic word. Behängt. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those, you can't really directly translate it into one word. But yeah, you can imagine, you've got all these things on you, and it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy to move around.
I wonder, I sometimes, well, maybe it's a bit too out there not to do with it, but I wonder, are they like talismans, like kind of relics of the people that she's had murdered? I don't know. I'm just kind of...
Yeah, listen, if that helps, then think it. I mean, this is the thing about with these background ideas, is that it's very rarely... how can I put it? No, it's always better to have a background idea, even if it isn't necessarily right.
Okay.
My feeling is she just gets anything from anywhere. I mean, we're in pagan ancient Greece. There's no shortage of local gods and all that sort of stuff. So the Henk mit Steinen, and then eine Kraft when we get there. The also pianissimo, just like richtige Treue.
Yes.
And your voice almost broke there. That's okay. I know it's the kind of unhelpful coachy thing to say, but it's not necessarily bad if in going for a real pianissimo, which is completely different from the rest of it, that there's some slight quarter-second disturbance in the voice. I'm not worried about that. Okay.
So will I go back a bit, Chris?
No, I think we should go on, to be honest. I think we should go on, try and cover as much as we can.
Darum bin ich so behängt mit Steinen, denn es wohnt in jedem ganz sicher eine Kraft. Man muss nur wissen, wie man sie nützen kann, wenn du nur wolltest, du könntest etwas sagen, was mir nützt.
Good. So for me, this is a stage now of bargaining. I mean, okay, you don't have grief in the traditional way, but if we think about the stages of grief, this at this point is a bargaining part.
Okay.
Yeah. So, behängt. By the way, use that first syllable. Bin ich so behängt mit Steinen.
Bin ich so behängt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Behängt, but really use that. Sicher eine Kraft with that pianissimo, which you did very well. Man muss nur wissen. Yes. That's why I'm here, because your brain is so addled because you haven't slept. And it's like, why am I here? Oh yeah, I'm here to ask her, to co-opt her. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the beating of the thing goes much more into minims. And it has more of a flow to it. And then you're kind of being super obsequious to try and get Electra's kind of favor, kind of sort of, you've forgotten what it's like to smile, right? But you're trying to kind of do a rictus grin. Okay. It's really grim. I mean, when you really, just dig into what's going on. So it flows forward a little bit. Maybe the sound warms up a bit. Ja, denn du bist klug, in deinem Kopf ist alles stark. There's a freedom that almost sounds a little bit Chrysothemis-like.
Yes,
absolutely. Because it's so oppressive. Clearly you've never murdered somebody with an axe, right? But I imagine there's a kind of claustrophobia to that guilt, and you just don't know where to look or where to turn. And then all of a sudden this phrase comes out, it's ironic because Electra she has her own craziness, but compared with Clytemnestra, Electra is actually quite normal.
Yes.
It takes flight a little bit there.
Yeah.
You can enjoy that. Okay, let's try.
Okay. Going from the place we stopped.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Du könntest vieles sagen, was mir nützt. Wenn auch ein Wort nichts weiter ist. Was ist denn ein Hauch? Und doch kriegt zwischen Tag und Nacht
Okay, thank you. Good.
Yeah.
Good. I can really feel, again, the kind of black and white colors and the sort of psychological tugging. Yeah, so that was lovely, actually. In deinem Kopf ist alles stark. And then the next line is quite kind of self-serving, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Sagen, was mir nützt, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
It's not because it's good or you're a good person or I'm a good person, whatever.
You know what I need.
Help me.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So weiter ist, was ist denn eine Hauch? Oh yeah, I want to say on the next page, kriecht is a gift. Kriecht. You can bring the earlier than you normally would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's almost,
like that.
It's it gives you 2 beats. Und doch kriecht zwischen Tag und Nacht. Okay. Again, it's not like good singing there, but it's this creeping and this. You won't believe the orchestration of this particular part, you know. And she describes this kind of thing, and it's not pain exactly, it's not pressure exactly, it's not incredible, you know. And I've had some times of illness in my own life, and that's such an amazing description.
Yes.
Of this thing, it's when you're just basically just ill. And it's just not that, it's not this, it's not that, it's not the other. It's so difficult to put your finger on, So use the rhythms, use the text. I mean, it's such a basic thing to say, but I mean, there's like no end to how much you can use the rhythm and the text in this kind of writing, yeah? So let's just press play and carry on.
Yeah.
Es ist kein Wort. Es ist kein Schmerz. Es drückt mich nicht. Es wird mich nicht. Nicht ist es. Einmal ein Alp.
Great, very good. So for me, in that whole page, what I want you to focus on is on the negative words.
Yes.
Because this is what's killing you, is that you can't put your finger on it. So we would normally say in the phrasing, es ist kein Wort, es ist kein Schmerz. But what I want, es ist kein Wort,
es ist
kein Schmerz. And then further, es drückt mich nicht. Es wirkt mich nicht. And then you can use this, nichts ist es. Yeah?
Okay,
Yeah, there's a lot of information there, consonant information, unvoiced, but again, you can use it more than you normally would. Nichts ist es. Nicht einmal ein Alp. Yeah? I don't need to hear that again, but that's the way I want you to frame that page, okay?
Brilliant. Thank you, Chris.
Bit more?
Yeah.
Und dennoch fürchterlich, dass meine Seele sich wünscht, erhängt zu sein und jedes Glied in mir schreit nach dem Tod und dabei leib ich und bin nicht einmal krank. Du siehst mich doch, seh ich wie eine Kranke.
Oh, sorry, Chris, you're muted.
Sorry. For what it's worth, this is too slow. It's not your fault, but it just is. What I'd like, genau, und bin nicht einmal krank. That's really good writing. Bin nicht einmal krank. It's kind of all wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Ich bin nicht einmal krank, you know? That's how you do it. But he's still completely, und bin nicht einmal krank.
Yeah.
So this kind of drunken kind of thing, yeah? This is,
or almost rocking, like someone.
Yeah, exactly. Like on a rocking horse, rocking back and forth. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, that's very good. Use that. Now, when so this should be really a build up, and it's not really possible with that tempo. But anyway, Kranke kann man dann vergehen liebend. That's the high point of that. So the diminuendo starts there. Yeah, and then this great word AAS. You know this word?
Corpse.
Yeah.
Or isn't it like the corpse?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wie ein faules Aas. I need a glottal stop and a huge dark Aas.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Great. We're gonna, if you can just put it back 5 seconds, and then we're gonna go up to Zerfressen von den Motten, and then we're gonna stop.
Okay.
Ich wie einer Kranke, kann man den vergehen lebend, wie ein faules Aas, kann man zerfallen, wenn man gar nicht krank ist, zerfallen, wachen Sinnes wie ein Kleid, zerfressen von den Motten.
Again, the tempo is not helping you here, but zerfressen von den Motten, short but intense at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, zer, Z-E-R, means is a prefix, and it denotes kind of destruction.
Yes.
So if you, also fressen is what animals do, they eat.
Yes.
Zerfressen is to eat to destruction, right?
Yes.
So it's again, fantastic word. Zerfressen von. Absolutely. Take the time that you need there. And I was making sort of gestures at you. Kann man den vergehen? How is it possible that I am alive and like it's worse than I'm dead? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's kind of a like almost like you grab a lecturer by the lapels.
Yes. Yeah.
Like this.
Fantastic. I like that. Yeah.
But listen, you have a tremendous voice for this, which is not common, and I think you have already some tremendous ideas. So I'm very pleased, very impressed.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, thanks. Sorry for the interruption there.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, that wraps it up. Thank you everyone for the just spectacular singing and wonderful work today. And Chris, thank you so much for your work with our wonderful singers. Pleasure. Always a pleasure. We will see you all back in about an hour. Thank you again, everyone. And we look forward to the next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Wonderful singing, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.